morning, students. My name is Malimela. I am responsible for life skills, physical education, creative art, and music in foundation phase module, which its code is LSP1501. So I am the secondary lecturer. Please forgive me about writing primary lecture. It was an error. I am the secondary lecturer. I am responsible for section B in this module, which is visual art. Okay. Here are my conduct if you encounter any challenges regarding the module or the assignment. My conduct are provided on the screen. You can contact me via telephone, which number is 021-429-4403. My email is malimzn@unisa.ac.za. You can also communicate via my UNISA discussion forum. Please ensure that whenever you communicate, you quote your module code, you provide your name and student number in order that I can assist you. So the outcomes of this module, of this unit, because I'm presenting my units, which are for section B, visual art, not the whole of the study guide. So here are the outcomes of this unit. After completing this learning unit, you should be able to define key terms relevant to this learning unit, namely creative art, art and holistic development. You must be able to demonstrate an understanding of the different stages of visual art development in the young child. You must be able to explain the relevant model outline of the artistic development of young child and theories that underpin early childhood art. You must be able to explain the different stages of development of the child's artistic experience. The overview of these units are like this. This module consists of 3 sections, make up of the life skills module. So section A is music, drama, and dance, which Dr. Leroux is responsible of that section. Section B is me, Mrs. Malimela, visual art. Section C is physical education, and Professor Kroch is responsible for that section. Please, students, understand that I am not presenting all the section. I'm only presenting section B. Dr. Leroux has already presented her section A. What is the place of visual art in the life skills module? The knowledge you gain from this learning unit will prepare you to teach visual creative art at the foundation phase. The breakdown of this section, which is section B, it consists only of 2 units, which is unit 6 and unit 7 and unit 8. For those who are still having the old study guide, but with the new study guide, is no longer unit 7, is unit 6 and unit 7. So please don't be confused. If you are having the new study guide, the learning units for visual art will be learning unit 6 and learning unit 7. Learning unit 7 comprises the introduction to visual art, and unit 8 is the elements of art. You know, students, that you have the assessment to go through when you are studying. So you already have the assignments which are already published in my UNISA. I believe that many of you have already started submitting assignment 1, which is physical education. So physical education, the due date is on the 21st of May, 2021. there is a tutorial letter 001, which has been published, which follows tutorial letter 101. Please ensure that you check the date, because the dates have been changed due to the delaying of the registration. So the due date now is 21st of May, 2021, and assignment 2, which is my assignment, the due date is 25th of June, 2021, and assignment 3 is due on the 30th of July, 2021. Please, students, make sure that you submit all your assignment online. No email assignments will be accepted. I repeat, please submit your assignments online. Please do not email your assignment to the lecturers. Okay. The purpose of the module. What is the purpose of this module, of this unit? The first purpose is to incorporate visual art experiences and to provide activities to enhance a child's physical and motor development. This module is linked to TPF 2602, which is a teaching practice module. Whatever knowledge that you'll gain from LSP 1501, you'll be able to apply it on the teaching practice module or the workbook, TPF 2602. Before I continue with I go in depth with the module, I just want to highlight these students. We are having the challenges, we're experiencing a number of challenges with regard to the writing of the, with regard to your responses to the assignment and the exams. So I just quoted few challenges that we encountered. The first one is that students are not always able to work with a complex way of answering the questions. Very few students are able to apply higher levels of demand, of the demand that requires, for example, questions like explain, discuss, analyze, distinguish, describe, yes, describe or analyze. Let me repeat this. Very few students are able and are not able to apply higher levels of demand in the question that requires, for example, the questions like explain, discuss, analyze, or distinguish and describe. Most students struggle to reason about the questions based on the scenarios. In many cases, students leave out answers or write responses that are inaccurate and less factual. So the point I'm trying to emphasize here, please, students, when you get the questions or the assignment, make sure that you read the question carefully. Please read the question carefully and read it again. Ensure that you understand the question. If the question says explain, please just briefly explain. If it says discuss, you must know what discussion means. And please ensure that you look at the marks before you tackle the question. So I will elaborate on this when I'm presenting the exam preparation. I was just highlighting the challenges that we are facing as lecturers when we are marking your assignment. We find many mistakes that the students are doing. Let us start with our visual art. Okay, every module or every presentation have expectations. Me as a lecturer, I also have expectation from on your side, and I believe you also have your own expectation from my side. So what are these expectations? First thing, I am expecting your full participation in the module. What do I mean by the full participation? Please make sure that you have your timetable, you organize yourself. You know, for example, on Monday, you study LSP 1501. On Wednesday, you study another module. So when you full participate in the module, you also engage yourself in the discussion. You go to the announcements for the LSP, you check the discussion forum, you ask whatever you want to ask with your e-tutors. Okay? Please make sure that you ask questions for clarification if there is something you don't understand. You ask me via email, or you ask the question from the discussion forum. Please complete all activities. In the study guide, there are activities. Those activities are to help you to understand the module. You will see that the section or the unit have a number of activities. Make sure that you do those activities. I know many students just ignore those activities. Those activities are to help you to understand what you have read from the unit. Teamwork in groups is very much important. Please ensure that you work as a team, you organize yourself, you make your group, you meet your group, you have your WhatsApp team, you communicate. Please, you discuss only the module, not other things. Have a clear understanding of the module. I'm expecting you to have a clear understanding of the module. How are you going to understand if you don't ask questions, if you don't practice the activities? So my duty here is to empower you as the educator. At the end of the training, you are going to be an educator, so you need to understand what we are going to teach to the children. I'm also expecting you to master this module. So our unit 6, which is our first unit from those who are having the new study guide, is unit 6, but with the old study guide is unit 7. Okay, the learning unit is about art and its meaning, how it relates to different stages of visual art development in the young child. It begins with the definition of the concept and shares theories under which child art is framed and denied. The relationship between different stages of the child development and sensory appeal of the child in art and classroom. These critical stages of development covers aspects such as physical, emotional, perceptual, and social development, which we call it the holistic development of the child. In this unit, you are going to define the concept of creativity, art, and holistic development. You must know characteristics of creativity and the creativity processes. We are going to discuss the importance of art. We are going to discuss positive processes and outcomes for art and craft. We are also going to compare theories underpinning children's art. You also have to know the difference between Lowenfield's art, Piaget stages of development. You must know and discuss holistic development. Please visit the activities and videos on the module site for practical demonstration of concepts. In this unit, we are going to compare theories underpinning children's art. You are also going to know the differences between Lowenfield's and Piaget stages of development. You are going to know and discuss holistic development. So I've provided the pages here for you to go and refer to whatever pages is given here. If I'm discussing any content here, you are able to refer to the pages I've provided. Please, I was saying that, please make sure that you visit the activities and videos on the module site for practical demonstration of the concept. These videos are provided in your study guides and the link to these videos. So now let us define the concept in this unit. The first concept is creativity. In simple terms, creativity is the ability to see things in a new way, or making something unique, or combining unrelated things into something new. I think this is very clear. Also, you can define creativity. Some researchers understood creativity as having the power of quality to express yourself in your own way. That is creativity. I won't dwell in defining the concept because everything is in the study guide. So it is also very much important that when you define the concept, don't put it as it is from the book or from the guide. Try and understand it and define it the way you will understand it. Number 2, art. Art is the concept that deals with imagination, recording, investigation, and production. It also helps to define our existence and frames our experiences according to Donna and Stewart 2010, page 19. Yes, she says art is a concept that deals with imagination, recording, investigation, and production. So according to Tisaniake 2015, art is the human expression of aesthetic experience. Another concept is holistic development. Holistic development is a perspective that considers the interrelationship of the various aspects of a child's development: physical, social, emotional, cognitive, perceptual, motor, and creative, and moral or spiritual development. So before I move on from this concept, as the foundation phase teacher, when you are teaching a young child, you teach the child as a whole. So that is why we are mentioning all the aspects of the development in the child. So make sure that whatever concept or whatever content you are delivering to the young children, it covers all these aspects. So you will see when you are doing your teaching practice. What are the characteristics of creativity? We can also call these the steps to the creativity process. They are arranged in this order. It is the preparation, concentrated, withdrawal from the problem, insight or illumination, verification or evaluation. So here, when the child is creating, she goes to all these steps. They are in order. Even the adults, not the children only. Whenever you are creating, these are the processes that you go through when you are creating. It doesn't matter you are drawing or you are creating something with a door or the clay door. You must go through all these processes. The first one is the preparation. The second one is the concentrated. The third one is the withdrawal from the problem, insight or illumination, and verification. They are arranged in order. If I'm asking you in the exam or the assignment or whatever assessment, if I say arrange these creativity processes in order, they must be in this order. These are the creativity processes now. They comprise of the inspiration, the percolation, the preparation, creation, and reflection. So what happens when the child is being inspired by something? The child is inspired by something from nature or by an event that has occurred in her life. So before you create, you look at something and you are inspired by it. Maybe you want to create it in your own way. Maybe let me give an example of the ball, just the white ball. You look at the ball, you love it, you are inspired by it. So now you think to do it, to make it or to create it in your own way. Now we used to see the black and white ball. Now we have ball with many colors. How did that start? It started in a creativity process. So the second one is the percolation. Speculation involves refining ideas by making sketches or playing around with ideas visually. The child can have an idea for a long time before creating the piece of art that inspires him or her. Then let us come to preparation. During the preparation time, this is the more active and focused time where now the child is focusing on what she's creating. Then when it's creation, it is the time when a child has finalized his or her own part of making. He has a pen, a paper, a crayon, a clay or brush, then she's starting creating. Then when it comes to reflection, after the child has created a piece of art, whatever piece of art, he now may discover a slight error or have doubts about what she has created. So now, student, you see that if the child is creating, these are the processes that the child go through. So when you are teaching children to draw or to create any piece of art, please make sure that you look at the child if these processes the child have gone through. So there is no step that the child must skip here. They must go in this order. You need to observe everything when the child is creating. So art has the following components. The first one is aesthetic perception, creative expression, historical or cultural heritage, and aesthetic valuing. What is aesthetic perception? It refers to the perception of objects categorized as artwork independently of the value assigned to them. Creative expression refers to participation in a range of art activities that allow for creative and imaginative expression such as music, art, creative movement, and drama. Historical and cultural heritage refers to an exposure to art from around the world. Aesthetic valuing considers as something which pertains to the visual qualities of the picture. What are the benefits of teaching art to young children? There are many benefits. As a student, you need to research, read more about the benefits of art. There are many benefits, and they are over-changing as the world is changing. So the first one that we've identified, that art develops children's motor skill. It can be fine motor, it can be gross motor skills. How does art develop motor skills to the young children? When the child using the pen or the crayon or the pencils to draw or to paint, in that manner, the child is developing the fine motor skills. So there are other activities also where the child develop the gross motor skills. Art helps children to appreciate numeracy. When the child is creating, there is counting involved there. There are colors involved there. There are shapes involved there. It means there is an appreciation of numeracy, but you cannot see that because you are not teaching. But as a teacher, you will know that now when you are giving the child to create and color in something, there is the numeracy involved there, especially those who are going to teach grade R, because you are there. You teach literacy. So when you are involved in colors and shapes, that is numeracy. Art education helps to reduce stress among the economically disadvantaged. Art builds children's self-esteem by giving them the autonomy to express themselves. Art builds the creative side of the brain. So here are the positive processes that were identified by Wright and McCartney, 2014. They confirm that art and craft activities in the classroom have the following positive processes and outcomes for children. Firstly, is the constructive thinking. This is when the child constructs ideas or fit them together. Secondly, imagination, meaning that learners have to formulate images of objects or figures in their minds. Observation, we know how to is observation. Initiative is the ability to think by themselves, to execute something on their own without being told to do it. Self-expression is through self-expression, learners have the ability to showcase their emotions and ideas in the strongest sense. There is the control of emotion, especially hands, characteristics of material, sympathetic understanding, in the sense of appreciation of beauty. In art and craft, all five senses are explored. These are the sense of sight, smell, touch, hearing, and taste. Now, let us go to the theories underpinning child's art. So, I believe that there is the module that you are going through, which go deeply with the theories. I will not explain the theories in depth here because I understand that there is the module that you are going where you are taught about the theories and their assumptions. So the first theory that I put here is Jean Piaget. I am comparing them, Jean Piaget with Vygotsky. Those are the basic theories that you are going to use when you are teaching young children, especially in the foundation phase. Piaget and Vygotsky are the basic theories that you will start with when you are teaching. But as the time goes on, depending on the kind of learner, the level of the learner you are teaching, their level and their abilities. But Piaget and Vygotsky are the basic theories that you are going to use when you are teaching. You need to master these theories. What is the work of the theories in teaching? They are guiding the teacher as a beginner teacher on how we are going to teach young children. Piaget first says that individuals can build their knowledge through cognitive learning experience in their daily interactions with the world. So what does this mean? It means that the child grows up within the society and he interacts with a number of things. He experiences a number of things in his or her processes of growth. So whatever the child interacts with, it builds the child. If you can just sit back and look at the child playing, you can see that no one is telling the child that take these stones, take this paper, tear this paper, throw this paper. No one is telling the child that, but he's just doing it on his own, meaning that these things that he's encounter with, they teach him. But Vygotsky's he has another view on that. He viewed that cultural and social construct influence the individual learning process. The child grows in the family or in the society. According to Vygotsky, whatever the child sees the adult doing, she learns or he learns from that. It means all what the family is doing, their cultural activities, their religious activities, the child learn from that. Another thing, Piaget views young children as social beings who need support to develop autonomy. It means, according to Vygotsky, the child can work alone. She doesn't need anyone to support him. He doesn't need anyone to help him. Whatever she does, she just think on his own. She look at the surroundings, and those surroundings, whatever she sees in the surroundings, they teach him. So as an adult, you need to develop the child in a manner that he can be able to work alone. Piaget identifies 4 major stages of development, namely the sensory motor, pre-operational, concrete operational, and formal operational. So on the other side, Vygotsky believes that children actively construct knowledge and that development cannot be separated from its social context. Social constructivism emphasizes that children develop through interacting with other individuals. So now I hope you understand that Piaget says that the child needs to work alone, but needs to be helped to be able to work alone. So as a teacher, you create some activities where the child can be able to work alone. You develop the autonomy on the child. You don't have to be helping him always. But according to Vygotsky, she said, whatever you do as a teacher, the child imitates you. Whatever you do as a parent, the child imitates. Whatever the family is doing, that is according to Vygotsky. Also, Piaget says that she suggests that the teacher's role should facilitate learning by providing a variety of experience. I think I have mentioned that before. So as a teacher, you need to facilitate learning by providing a variety of experiences. You must provide opportunities for learners to explore and experience. In this way, encouraging learners' new understanding. As a teacher, you must allow opportunities to classify and group information to facilitate learners' assimilating new information with previous knowledge. So you know that your role as a teacher, you need to build this child to be able to stand alone, to be able to work to work alone or to create something without your help. For you, your duty is to just provide the activities. You provide the opportunities. According to Vygotsky, Vygotsky argues that children interact with different social cultural contexts and constructs. As a result, their cognitive development is guided through social interaction with more skilled individuals. He also believes that language plays a fundamental role in children's cognitive development. It is critical that teachers use language for the instruction, appraisal, and guidance of the child during the production of art practices in the classroom. So whatever language that you are using, make sure that you use the language that is at the level of the learner so that the learners will learn from the language that we are using. The instructions that you are giving, the appraisal and the guidance during the production. Let's go to the holistic development. This integrated view of learning considers the child as a whole person. It sees the set task as a meaningful whole and sees the whole as a greater than the sum of its individual tasks or experiences. That is Varun 2015. He said, when teaching, there must be the relationship within this aspect: physical, social, emotional, cognitive, perceptual, motor, creative, and moral spirit. You remember I indicated before that if you are teaching the child, you teach the child as a whole. We call that the holistic development of the child. Even in art, when you are teaching the art, remember you are a foundation phase teacher. If you are teaching the child, you need to incorporate all these aspects. Holistic development divided into, is incorporated in this development. The first one, which is physical development. What happens when you are developing the child physically? Let us start with the gross motor skills. Gross large muscle group for walking, running, jumping, and climbing. You remember in my previous slides, I said that we'll discuss this as we go on. So now I highlighted the fine motor skills, that when the child is doing the activity which requires the pen, the crayons, the paintbrush, in that activity you are developing fine motor skills. So also fine motor skills falls under body of the person is built up with the muscles small bones, and large bones, also large muscles. So this is what is happening in the gross motor skills. You give the learners the activities such as walking, running, jumping, and climbing up the trees to develop their gross motor skills. With the fine motor skills, it involves accurate movement of hands and fingers for throwing, writing, using a knife, or tying the knots. The physical nature also includes sensory development, the information received into the brain from the senses of sight, hearing, smell, taste, touch, and balance. With the social development is when the children work together in the art area, they learn to share with others, be responsible for clean up, and put materials away. They sing, dance, do puppetry, and theater, all teach the child, all these teach the child to pay attention to others. So when the children are singing and dancing and maybe doing this, some puppetry and theater, this is a social development. It means that you are developing the social, what can I say? So it's a social development that you are developing when you are giving the learners these activities. Fine motor skills development are just provided the pictures where as a teacher you can see these are the types of activities that you can give learners to develop the fine motor skills. Let us go to the cognitive development. Okay, when children are developing the cognitive development, they find out what happens when they mix two primary colors together and get a secondary colors. When they mix colors, they develop the observational skills needed for science. They come up with new ideas and to think outside the box, since creativity involves exploration and problem solving. So as a teacher, these are the activities that you need to develop when you are teaching young children. Make sure that when you want to develop a cognitive development, you give them activities like mixing colors. So you go to your guide and read about colors, how children mix the colors. In that manner, you develop the cognitive development because the child have to think. If you take the yellow color and mix with the red color, she need to think. If, for example, we are giving them the tree, what colors does the tree, how does the tree look like? The tree has green leaves, so the child has to think and look for the green color. In that manner, the cognitive aspect of the child is being developed in case he's managed to find the green color. So maybe he's drawing a human being. So ask the child to put the clothes of this on this human being. If you choose to put an orange color, maybe you ask him, which colors do you like? So the child will think. In that manner, the cognitive aspect is being developed by the process when the child is thinking of the choosing of how to can choose the color. The cognitive aspect is being developed. In the emotional development, young children feel a sense of emotional satisfaction. They decide what they will make and what material they will use. Maybe the first opportunity children have to make independent choices and decisions. All these aspects, students, are very much important when you are teaching young children. I will skip the multicultural approach. Please make sure that you go to the guide and you read the multicultural approach. What I can just summarize what is the multicultural approach. As a teacher, you are teaching different children with different abilities, with different lifestyles, with different religion, gender, ethnicity, and individual needs. So as a teacher, you need to create a learning environment that respects those multicultural or diversity. You need to set the scene that fosters children's positive self-concept and attitudes. Such an environment assists children to develop positive ideas about themselves and others. As a teacher, you should create conducive conditions which children initiate conversation about differences. Remember, these children are differed in language. So when you group the children, you need to mix the children. Let me make an example. I am the Zulu speaking person. So if you have Zulu children in your class, don't group them together. Make sure that you mix the Xhosa, the Zulu, the English-speaking child, the Afrikaner one, so that they learn from each other. That's what we call the multicultural approach, or the respect of the diversity among children, because they learn different cultures from each and everyone. Even when you teach, do not teach one aspect of language. Make sure that you meet. If you are talking about the cultures, make sure that you ask other learners, what do they do in their cultures when they are doing, even the singing, the dancing. The dance is different in terms of the diversity. So let the children teach each other their dance in their culture. So in that manner, you are respecting the diversity in the classroom. Even the display of the art, make sure that all the cultures are represented in the display of the art. These are the questions that you need to ask yourself as a teacher to introduce the art from different cultures. Firstly, you need to ask yourself, what cultures are represented by the children in your classroom? What cultures are represented by the families in your classroom and community? What art from the other cultures attracts you? What kind of art is appealing to the children? Dear students, I have presented Unit 6. I did not present everything in Unit 6 because you also have to study. It's only that I was summarizing those aspects which I saw that I needed to explain thoroughly. So if you have some question, please make sure that you send me the email, or we communicate via my discussion for my UNISA discussion forum. But the unit that I've presented are Unit 6. Remember, I said that those who have the new study guide, it appears to them at Unit 6, but those who have the old study guide, it appears to them as Unit 7. But I'm done with Unit 6 now. Unit 7 is too long also because of the time. I won't be able to continue at this point in time. I will present it at a later stage, but I will send all the slides to you. Make sure that you go through the slides so that when I present, you will know what is taking place in Unit 7. So Unit 7 contains elements of art. So in that unit, I will be presenting each and every element of art. So I won't be continuing right now, but I will send you the slides of this unit. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. We'll meet again in our second presentation. Thank you.